Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going to be doing kind of a typical haul, but I'm also going to be going through my shelves and taking out all the translated books so I can sort them by language or by country. It's been a goal of mine the last several years to read more translated works, and I've mentioned it in my January reading goals. I have succeeded a little bit, mostly purely by accident, when a book that I want to read just happens to be translated. I'm setting myself up for success. Over the past few months, I've bought, I think if I counted correctly, it's roughly 30 books that most have been translated from another language to English, but a few of them were originally written in English, but they are from other countries outside the US. So, let's go through them. Let's do the haul first, and then I will pull down all the books I already have translated, and we're going to sort them all together. Okay, let's start easy. We'll do Italy first. I only bought 2 books that were originally written in Italian, and they are opposites, if there ever were. One is short and sweet, and one is going to take up a whole shelf by itself. So, I also kept them organized with my little stickies. So, Italy. First book is The Leopard. Nice look. Breeze right through it probably. And then we have The Catholic School. Oh my gosh. This is like one of those like chunky Russian books. I'm gonna have to dedicate, oh boy, a lot of time. It's a little intimidating, but you know what? It could be a hidden gem right there. Let's hit Spanish next. I've got 3 books. The first one is Pedro Paramo. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. It does have a foreword by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, which is absolutely promising. This is about a son whose mother is dying. He's never met his father, and I think he sets off on a journey to meet said father. And then we have Elena Knows. This is about a mother-daughter relationship. The daughter is found dead in a church. The police think it's a suicide. The mother doesn't believe them. I'm not sure if it's like a murder mystery where the mom has to investigate and find out if there was foul play, or maybe it's more of like a story on grief. I'm not sure, but it was shortlisted for the International Booker Prize, which is pretty cool. The last book translated from Spanish is called The Feast of the Goat. And I know one of the things that's going to become glaringly apparent as I go through and read these books is my lack of knowledge at other countries' political history, because I have no idea if this is based on a true story, but from the premise it sounds like it. It says it's set in 1961, and it's about the Dominican Republic becoming a democracy, and the really terrible leader nicknamed the Goat, that kind of pushed the country to get to that point and revolt. So we're gonna see. I don't know. Either way, I'll learn more about the country. Let's hit France next. I bought 5 French books. I did pretty good as far as giving myself a wide variety of these types of books. The first one I've been wanting to read for such a long time. I feel like this book has really surged in popularity lately. I'm not sure why. I don't think there was any new movie or TV show made out of it, but I'm not gonna complain. That's The Count of Monte Cristo. Look at that big chunka book. I'm not sure how this version is going to do as far as I know I'm going to want to get in there and highlight and notate. I'm going to give it a shot, but with books this thick, I feel like it's really difficult to find them tall and wide enough. But we're going to give this one a shot. I really would like to spend a lot of time just kind of slowly going through this and digging into it. Moving on from a classic to, I believe this is kind of like a sci-fi. This is The Anomaly. From what I've read, a little blurb on the back, this is about a group of people on a plane that are going from Paris to New York. And it says they hit a shockingly violent patch of turbulence, emerging on the other side to a reality both perfectly familiar and utterly strange. So I'm thinking it's like some sort of mystery, sci-fi, magical realism, perhaps. I'm not sure, but it sounds cool. Next, moving more towards a thriller perspective, this is The Reunion, which sounds a lot like some of the dark academia I've been reading recently. This is about a college student who runs away with her philosophy teacher she's never seen from again. I don't know what happened to her. Was it something bad? I mean, if she ran away with her philosophy professor, who's probably way older, I don't think it's anything good, but we'll find out. Staying in that vein of potential murder mystery, but adding a little tinge of horror, is The Birthday Party. This is about a small group of people who are living, I think, in rural, I can never say that word without feeling like it's wrong, rural France. They're throwing a little birthday party for, I'm not sure if it's a friend or a family member, but the night goes downhill really fast. They start receiving like really threatening phone calls and menacing letters. There's like a car that's hovering in the driveway or something like that, and I think things may get violent. And then last, I've heard this is a French classic. It's called Swann's Way. I think this is the first book in a trilogy. Don't really know what this one is about. I've just seen this on a lot of like famous French book lists, so I want to go into this one not really knowing much. Those are the books from France. Let's move to Japan, because I think I bought the most books translated from Japanese. I think I've got 8. We'll say 8. First one I have is Diary of a Void. This is about a woman who was sexually harassed at her previous job, so she moved to a new job, and she is fooling everyone into believing that she's pregnant. I'm not sure why. Following a similar vein about an abusive woman trying to escape her husband or her ex, we have Out. This is a murder mystery. I think she kills her abusive husband, and then her friends help her cover it up. And this might be about the detective on the case who's supposed to be catching her. I'm not sure if that's right. It sounds right. Also very similar to the previous 2 books, we have The Devotion of Suspect X. This is about a mother committing a crime to protect her daughter. I don't know what it is where I'm buying all of these like women committing crimes because the men around them are terrible, but that's what I'm reading. Then we have At the End of the Matinee. Very pretty cover. I don't remember what this one's about. 2 people, a journalist and a guitarist, who fall in love, but they don't see each other very often. It says they begin a conversation that will go on for years with long spells of silence, broken by powerful moments of connection. So I'm guessing it's a sad romance. This one I have seen people talk about quite fondly, and that is The Cat Who Saved Books. This is set in a bookstore, and it's about a talking cat. Enough said. Diving back into sci-fi, we have Tatami Galaxy. I think this is about different realities. One person exploring parallel realities that they live in. Then we have The Boy and the Dog, which is so cute. This book follows a tsunami. The dog and his boy get separated, and the dog has to find his way back to his owner. Last but not least, we have Wolf Children. Now, this book is supposed to be about a woman who falls in love with a werewolf. He ends up passing away, but they have little werewolf babies, and she is kind of tasked with bringing them up. And I thought, oh, that would be, sad and romantic and interesting. That kind of might be cute. And then I bought the book, and I turned it over, and I saw the horror that awaited me. Oh my gosh. Are they not the scariest looking things ever? They're so creepy looking. I don't like them. They're so different. Oh, that's like, this picture is like gonna give me nightmares. Those are the books that I bought from Japan. I only bought one book from Dutch, so let's move to that one next. It's called The Discomfort of Evening. I have heard that this one is effectively disturbing. This also follows a death. This is a man, I don't know how old he is, he might be a boy. The brother of a family dies, and this book is about the impact that his death has on the sister and then the rest of the family. I think they live in like a farming community. Jas and her siblings develop a curiosity about death that leads them into increasingly disturbing rituals and fantasies. So this one seems like it might be like unsettling, which I like unsettling books. When I was comparing Count of Monte Cristo to those big chunky Russian novels, this is what I was talking about. This is the brothers Karamazov, I think that's how you pronounce that, I'm not exactly sure, by Dostoevsky. I think this is his final novel, and I've never read Crime and Punishment by him, which is the book that I really wanted to read, but I found this one like in a thrift store for a few bucks. These books though, the long, dense ones like these, they're really investments. I mean, you have to put a lot of time and energy into them, so I want to make sure I go into this with the right mindset when I'm ready. We're going to go through the rest of the translated works. I think each language, I only have like single books for the rest of them, and then I have a few specifically from Australia. So first, Croatia, we have Adios Cowboy. This sounds much more like a family drama, but it's in Zagreb. I don't know where Zagreb is. I'm guessing it's somewhere in Croatia. Next we have Dreaming of Baghdad. This was originally written in Arabic, and I believe the author was exiled from Iraq because politically she went against some of the kind of major leaders of the country. One book we have translated from Icelandic, and that is Hotel Silence, which seems super cozy and is giving me really heavy Frederick Bachman vibes. This is about, I think it's an aging handyman who works at this hotel. The hotel is not, the business isn't great. It's getting older. Things are starting to leak. Things are starting to break. But I think the handyman is like really passionate about fixing things up and kind of restoring it to its former glory. I think it's about the community that kind of rallies around him. So I'm really looking forward to reading that one. And then we have from German, New Year. I don't know what this is about, but I bought it. As he struggles against the wind, he takes stock of his life. He has a job, a wife, 2 kids, yet he hardly recognizes himself anymore. When he finally reaches the past in utter exhaustion, a mysterious coincidence unveils a repressed yet vivid memory, plunging him back into childhood and the traumatic event that almost cost him and his sister their lives. Okay. Says it's unexpectedly dark psychological family drama. I bought one book from China, and I'm calling it now. I think Wolf Totem, when I read it, is going to be 5 stars. This is set during the Cultural Revolution in China, where a very intelligent, learned man travels to live with the nomadic Mongols in Inner Mongolia. I think he finds a wolf cub and adopts it, and it's this kind of harsh, brutal meeting of modern life and nature. I think this is going to be a tearjerker. I love wolves. I love wolves so much. From South Korea, I've got one book. This I have heard described as a sci-fi, what's it called when you watch those stupid shows on TV? Reality show. This is Snow Globe, where I think every second, it's kind of like the Truman Show, isn't it? I think there's this literal snow globe and it's the only place left on Earth that's warm. And I don't know why, don't ask me why, but they choose to use that space to like put people in and film every second of their days as like some reality show, and they broadcast this to the people who are living outside in the cold because for some reason that's worth it. I don't know, but I'm interested to see what this has to say about kind of reality shows and media and everything being filmed. We'll see. The last 4 books that I purchased for this haul were originally written in English. They are, however, from Australia. I am familiar with 3 of the authors, but the only one I had not heard of before is this one. It's called The Slap, and it is literally about a slap. It's about a group of friends who are having a barbecue, and I believe an adult slaps a child. I don't know how they're gonna make a whole pretty sizable book out of this, but I'm guessing it's the fallout and maybe like the parents' disagreement with how children should be raised or disciplined. I don't know, but I think they made a TV show out of it. I've never heard of it before, but the more research I did, the more I found out that this is like pretty popular in Australia. It's kind of reminding me of The Dinner, which I read last year, which was also a translated book. I did not like very much, and it was about a pair of parents who sit at a dinner after their sons had committed like a really heinous crime, and they're just kind of giving them every excuse under the sun. So we've got Peter Carey and Tim Winton. I have heard of both these authors before. I have owned books by both these authors before. I might still own them. They might just be in storage. This is The True History of the Kelly Gang, and this is Cloud Street. Last but certainly not least, we have The Thornbirds. This is a pretty sizable book. Multi-generational family saga set in the Australian outback. Will this be like East of Eden? I don't know why all these books are reminding me of other books. Oh my gosh, that took forever. Okay, we've reached the end. Now I need to pull the books that are translated from my shelves so I can organize them. I am cheating. I am putting these books straight onto my shelves. I know typically what I'll do is I'll put them on my spinning shelf, and then once I read books from here, I'm able to swap them with those. I'm not doing that this time because I got no room and I don't want them sitting on the floor. So I'm gonna break my own rules, but that's okay. Here's the half a bookshelf of translated works, and then here's this one. So let's pull them out and see what goes where. I think they are pretty well organized. Japan might just be winning by a mile. As you can probably see, some of these I do have categorized by language and some I do have by country. So obviously several countries speak the same language. I just need to go do a little bit more digging and kind of categorize them further. But I'm going to go ahead and get these on the shelves now, on my 2 empty shelves, and we'll see how many fit. This is not set, but it's a little bit more organized. So starting on the top shelf here, we've got translated work, translated work, translated works. This I don't trust for the books. These are kind of heavy books, not to collapse and knock this off the shelf. So I need to replace that with something heavier. And then we move on to fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. This is like horror thriller as well as over here. I do need to fill in this gap because it is really bugging me. And then the bottom 2 shelves of each bookshelf are kind of just literary fiction. We've got a little bit of nonfiction, but not very much. It's just kind of like not a specific genre. I need to fill that in. I don't like that. But it's okay for now. I'm still going to fiddle around with it a bit, but at least I have the countries / languages organized so that when I do want to kind of delve into that, I don't have to dig for them. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Let me know which country or language you think I should start with, and we'll see where we go.